Hello, welcome to Your Simple Golf Swing. I'm Matt. Have you ever had this happen to you? You've been working on your swing all week. You've been going to the range every day after work, and you're just puring that ball there at the range with club after club after club. You grab your 7-iron, you're hitting it nice and pure. You grab your 5-iron, you're just smashing the ball. You grab your driver, you're hitting the drives of your life, and you're really excited because you feel like, okay, I have really found my swing, and this Saturday when I go play with my buddies, I'm gonna really surprise them. I'm gonna show off my new swing, and they're just gonna be so impressed. And then you get to the course. It's Saturday morning. You decide, well, I'm going to warm up at the range, and you get to the range on Saturday morning, and again, you're just striping it. You're just hitting the ball just beautifully. And then your round starts, and you start off okay, but then all of a sudden, it seems like that swing that you've perfected over this whole week or 2 weeks or a month or however long it took you suddenly abandoned you, and you just can't find it. And this swing that you were so excited about, all of a sudden, it's not there. It didn't show up when you're out on the course. Well, I want to talk to you today about how you can fix that permanently, how you'll never have to suffer from that problem again. We've all suffered from that. I know I did years ago, until I discovered the key on how to making sure that the swing that I have perfected here on my golf hitting area and at the range shows up when I go play golf on the course. But before I get into that, I want to introduce my course to those of you that have not taken it yet. It's called the Your Simple Golf Swing Method. It's based on the Mike Austin and Mike Dunaway swing method. It is the easiest, purest, simplest swing you will ever learn. It'll give you more power, more distance, and more accuracy than any swing that's out there. In my course, I teach you in a very short amount of time how to play the best golf of your life. If you're interested, just go down into the description, click on the link, it'll take you to the course, or you can go to yoursimplegolfswing.com and find a link there to sign up for the course. Okay, so let's get into the lesson of this video. How do we take that beautiful swing that we've honed out on the range to the course? We've all heard a lot of different instructions and tips and stuff on first of all, how do you practice at the course? You know, how you practice the way you're going to play. I made a video that talks about this, where I talk about what I'll do is I'll hit my driver first. I'll imagine a hole on a golf course, and I'll hit my driver, and then I'll tell myself, okay, I got X amount of yards out, so now I'm going to hit my 7-iron, and I'll hit a 7-iron, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll hit a driver again, because, you know, let's face it, when you're out on a golf course, you're not just hitting 7-iron after 7-iron after 7-iron, or driver after driver after driver. You hit one club, you get one try, and then you go to the next club when you get up to your ball. You hit your driver, then you hit your approach shot with one of your irons. So I like to practice that way when I'm at the range, or even here in my backyard. But what about when you're actually on the course? How does that help you on the course? Well, it really doesn't. It does get you familiar with and used to switching from club to club between each shot, which is very important. But what is it about being on the course that causes the swing that you've honed and that you're so confident in to suddenly abandon you? Well, I'll tell you what it is. When you're out on the when you're out on the driving range, your focus is on one thing and one thing only. Oh, we got a pink ball today coming out of this thing. When you're on the driving range, you're not thinking about scoring. You're not thinking about, you know, the hazards that are out there. You're not thinking about splitting the fairway. You're not thinking about getting over that bunker and landing it close to the pin. What are you focused on? You're focused on performing the perfect swing properly. That's what I teach my students in my course. It's all about performing the perfect swing properly. And when you're on the range, that's what your focus is. You take your time, you line up, you make sure that you got all of your angles right, get your grip right. Whoops, move the ball there. And then what you do is you just take it back and you hit the ball. And you do that time and time and time again. So how can you take what you're doing at the range out on the course? It's simple. First of all, when you're on the range, you develop a routine. And for a lot of us, and this is a routine I recommend for everybody out there. We're going to pretend like we're hitting out that direction, okay? I always start behind the ball, take a look at my target. I teach this in my course too. And you come down, you find an intermediate target. And what that is, that's a speck in the grass or whatever. It's about 12 inches in front of your ball, in line with you and your target, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll come up, I will square my club face to that intermediate target. I will step into my stance. I will take my grip, make sure my alignment's right and everything. And then what I do from here is my focus is on performing the perfect swing properly. That's what I do on the range. That's what a lot of what you guys do on the range. You're working on the swing. So you get up there, make sure your measurement's all correct. You want to kick that knee in a little bit, get the shoulder down so this hand can come under, and then you start your swing. And you do that over and over and over on the range. What happens when you get on the golf course is a very different animal, okay? We're standing out there on the golf course. Got 165 yards, 160 yards to the pin, okay? We see, okay, the flag is tucked behind a bunker back there on the green. And then we get up there and all we think about is, okay, I got to land this right. I'm gonna try to hit this shot to where it's starting to the middle of the green and just fade a little bit towards that target. I don't want to go right over that bunker. Don't want to take it straight over in case I come up short. I end up in the bunker. Then we get up there and we keep looking down there and keep looking at the shot that we want to pull off. We're focused on that shot. And we're focused on that shot. Then we get up there and we bring the club up and we swing as hard as we can. All of our fundamentals go out the window. We are no longer performing the perfect swing properly. We are trying to pull off a shot. We're trying to pull off a shot. What I teach is perform the perfect swing properly. So how do I approach this when I'm out on the golf course? I do the same thing that I'm doing at the range for the most part, with a few exceptions. You heard me mention, okay, I get my spot alignment. I look down, I see that bunker on the right, see that the pin is tucked behind that bunker on the green there. Got 160, 165 yards. I'm gonna grab my 8-iron, okay? So right now, I know the shot I wanna do. I wanna start it at the middle of the green. I wanna try to put a little fade on it. If it doesn't fade and I hit it dead straight, it's in the middle of the green. If it fades a little bit, beautiful. It gets me a little bit closer to the flag. At this point, I turn off what's going on down there. I no longer think about where I need to land the ball, with one exception, and that's my lineup. When I line up and I look for that intermediate target, then I stop. No more thoughts about what's going down there. No thoughts about the pond on the left. No thoughts about that bunker that is right there in front of the green, and that pin is tucked behind it. Not thinking about that anymore. What I'm thinking about now, got my intermediate target. I am thinking about performing the perfect swing properly. So now my entire focus is lining up, getting set. I don't even need to look down there to make sure I'm lined up because I use that intermediate target. And I'll tell you right now, when you first start doing this, it's going to be hard for you because you're going to line up like this, and you're going to look down there to make sure you're lined up, and you're going to see all those hazards again. The pond on the left, bunker on the right, all those problems you're going to see now, and now those are going to creep into your head. That's one of the reasons you want to use this intermediate target. You line up to the intermediate target. You've got your club head square to it. You got your feet square to it, your shoulders square to it. Everything's good to go. No reason to look down there. We know we need to cover, we want this ball to go about 160 to 165 yards. We've already selected the club for that, already got the 8-iron in our hands. So there's no more thoughts to the target area. There's no reason to think about that, because what we're going to do is we're going to do what we do on the range. We're going to think, okay, I'm over this ball now. I am going to focus 100% on performing the perfect swing properly. And from there, you go through the checklist. For those of you that have taken my online course, you know what checklist I'm talking about, where we talk about our setup and we talk about our takeaway. We talk about how we are at the top and we talk about that transition and how we come down and fire through the ball. That's what your focus has to be on. It can no longer be on what's going on down there. It has to be on, I'm at the range. My focus at the range is performing the perfect swing properly. I want to be able to stripe this ball just like I do at the range. It's a mental game that we have to do, but it's also, it's not tricking yourself. What it's doing is it's putting your focus where it needs to be. Before the shot, that's where your focus is, on the environment, your yardage, your target, where you need that ball to end up. Even with your driver off the tee, you know, is it a dog leg left? Is it a dog leg right? Do I need to carry a bunker down there that's somewhere on the right or left of the fairway? What kind of yardage do I need? You make all those decisions really in the fairway before you grab your club. And of course on the tee box, you're going to have your driver on most par fours and par fives. So all of your environmental questions and considerations and thoughts and shot shaping and where you need to put this ball, that all takes place well before the shot. But once you line up that target and you step into that routine of getting into your stance, taking your grip, and before you start that club back, however you do it, whether you do it with a little forward press, a little waggle, whatever, you can turn all that off, okay? Remember, thoughts down there before you address your ball. After you address your ball, it goes to what's happening in this little maybe 4 foot by 4 foot or 3 foot by 3 foot square area right here. That's all your focus should be on, is focus on performing the perfect swing properly. Davis Love III used to talk about this. He talked about how he would go through his routine and he would swing the club and hit the ball and let the results take care of themselves. And he said that he was always willing and ready to accept whatever result he got. Well, one of the reasons for that is because he was focusing on performing his perfect swing properly. If you look at Davis Love III's swing, you'll see it's very much like the Mike Austin swing. His dad was an instructor, and this is back in the era where Mike Austin's teaching was prevalent amongst golf pros. But anyways, again, this is how you take your range and your practice swing to the course. You have to remember that when you're standing over that ball and you're addressing that ball, you have one thing on your mind, and that's performing the perfect swing properly. It's not about the hazards and the things that you need to deal with down there, okay? I had this buddy that I was playing golf with, and whenever we had water in front of us, he invariably put the ball in the water, no matter what. Didn't matter if the water was close up or far away, he always found the water. And I used to ask him, you know, why are you doing that? And he goes, well, I can't get my focus off the water. I can't get my focus off it. That's all I think of is the water. And I keep thinking, don't hit it in the water, don't hit it in the water. And that's what he does. He hits it into the water. I taught him some tricks on how to just get up to that ball and think about performing that perfect swing properly. And he never hit it in the water again. I mean, he was just amazed. The first time he tried it, he landed exactly where he wanted to, and he was so excited, and he's never looked back. So if you want to learn the perfect swing and learn how to perform the perfect swing properly, again, jump in, take my course. You won't regret it. I've already had hundreds and hundreds of people that have taken the course that absolutely loved it, and it's changed their game forever. So just go to yoursimplegolfswing.com or go down into the description. There's a link that takes you directly to where you can sign up for the course. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day and happy golfing.